so 'tis I. Today I'm going to be talking about a rant video somebody made on a creator known as Juicy Zone. They're an animation meme YouTuber who has been basically, been kind of the center of some drama for including but not limited to romanticizing self-harm and gore, sexualizing gore and self-harm, encouraging people to self-harm, be obsessing over and stalking Birdie and Foxy Boxy, and I believe there was more, but I can't really think about it right now. Like, I can't really, those are just the things that are on the top of my head that I could list, but I'm pretty sure there is a lot more things, stuff that this person might even go into in his video. But I had some problems with this rant, and I do want to note that I'm not a fan of Juicy Zone, and nor will I be defending all of their actions. I will just be defending them on things that I think isn't really an issue, or defending them on things I think didn't happen or don't have proof to them. So I'm not gonna defend every single one of Juicy Zone's actions, nor am I a fan of them. I literally just heard of them yesterday, and shit like that. So, let's get on to this video. By the way, this guy had, a disclaimer, and then all this, intro part that's just talking about, oh, fucked up shit on the internet exists, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just cutting all that out because it's not really relevant, just letting you guys know that this isn't the beginning of the video, and he did have a disclaimer in his video, so don't criticize him for, not putting a trigger warning for these dark subjects, because he did, just letting you guys know.
And today we're talking about one of these cases, so strap in boys and girls because this video is about to get real dark. I guess let me introduce you to Juicy Zone. Juicy Zone is a very small animator with 4K subs at the time of this recording. Her animations mainly focus on, well, whether this depraved shit is. At first glance, these look like cringe furry animation memes. However, if you actually click on one, it's quite the opposite. In these videos, self-harm is very prevalent with depictions of characters with cuts all over their bodies, primarily arms and legs. For example, the video called Pop. Pop is an animation meme she made synced to the song Brooklyn Blood Pop. Where in the video, she draws her OC with cuts on her arms bouncing to the song, with quite a pleasurable expression on their face. This video is the first of many that romanticizes self-harm.
Anyone who knows me probably knows why I have an issue with this, but for the people who don't know, I'm gonna explain it. Romanticize. Deal with or describe in an idealized or unrealistic fashion. Make something seem better or more appealing than it really is. Something you need to note about this definition is that not only is it extremely vague, meaning that it is extremely hard to actually put a specific, negative or positive connotation onto the word, but also, there is nothing in the definition saying that it is expressly negative. Romanticization is not negative on its own. It isn't. Yes, there are times when it can be negative, but romanticization is something that every artist does unless you draw hyperrealism. Any artist who draws any kind of dark subject like death, self-harm, gore, anything of that nature, they are romanticizing it. Does that mean that they're bad? No. Romanticism is a normal part of art, and I want that to be very clear. Romanticism is not a bad thing on its own. When you're encouraging it, that's when it's bad, which is something we'll be talking about later. Now, if we ignore the whole obsession with Birdie thing, if we ignore that, them on their own just drawing self-harm art while the character is smiling, or making self-harm animation memes while the character is looking happy, is not bad on its own. Yes, them, the other things that they've done regarding, the topic of self-harm is bad, and them, having an obsession over Birdie and drawing the character with Birdie's name carved into their arms, that's bad. But the self-harm art on its own isn't fucking bad. What's bad about it is the fact that, one, there's no trigger warning, and two, there are some animation memes where they are obsessing over Birdie in a very creepy way.
which is already fucked up, especially if this person is supposedly 14. If you take a look at her community tab, it's exactly the same. On her community tab, there is gore porn, which is
Why does it always come back to Alfred's Playhouse?
barely censored, and then there is actual images of self-harm uncensored for everyone to see.
Yeah, I do think that somebody posting the self-harm, especially uncensored, is not a good thing. Though I don't think that they should be, like, harassed for this. I think that people should, like, be like, hey, this is not healthy for anyone. Don't do this. And I think that, explaining to them, especially because they're, like, a child, they're 14, explaining to them why that is not okay is better than just saying, this isn't okay, this is bad. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like explaining to people why what they're doing is bad, especially if they're children, is a lot better than just saying, this is bad, don't follow this person. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know how this shit is on YouTube. It's so fucked. I have censored it, but if you really must see it, go on their community tab.
I shouldn't have gone on Juicy's community tab, because when I did, I got the realization that the character in the heels that was doing the shit that they were doing in this picture is actually Alfred from Alfred's Playhouse, and I fucking was like, excuse me. Like, I froze. Like, I was like, bitch. Like, it's not surprising that they're an Alfred's Playhouse fan. But I hate it. I hate it so much. Me and Alfred's Playhouse, we are like, bro, I will punch the shit out of that. Like, I will punch the shit out of that fucking dog. I swear. Don't worry, guys, it's a cartoon dog. I'm allowed to say this. But I will punch the fucking shit out of that dog. God, that sounds really bad out of context.
Alright, this is just going off the script like a shit ton. I've just been watching some of the fucking like Juicy Zone videos, and it's very concerning. I'm worried for this individual's fucking mental health and safety.
Yes, I'm worried for this individual's mental health, yet I'm gonna shame them for making vent art because it's romanticism, when basically all vent art is romanticism anyway.
Like, this type of behavior is what lands you in psych wards and shit, where you can't be unsupervised.
Keep in mind, this guy isn't talking about, the actually harmful shit that they did. No. They're talking about the fact that they drew vent art and vent art bad. And they're not talking about the fact that... No, he's not talking about the fact that they didn't put a trigger warning, because yes, that is harmful. But he's talking about the fact that the art was created. And now, sure, I personally don't really like it when people draw fan art of a fucking Nazi show. And you know what? I would even say that I think Juicy Zone is kind of gross for liking that show. But drawing, like, gory porn art, or just having a gore fetish, or just, drawing very most likely vent art of your character with self-harm cuts, that is not bad on its own. Sure, I don't like that it's Alfred's Playhouse fan art, because I don't like Alfred's Playhouse, and anybody who does like it, I am judging you right now. If you are watching this and you like Alfred's Playhouse, I'm fucking judging you. I just think that the way he's going about this, by saying all of this shit is so bad, instead of actually condemning this person for the, the shit that they've actually done that is bad, like not putting trigger warnings, possibly encouraging people to self-harm, shit like that. I mean, yeah, he is talking about that, he will in a bit, but, this beginning part of they romanticize self-harm and draw gore porn is just overall stupid. I do think that some of the shit that Juicy Zone has done is not okay, but them being into gore porn isn't one of them, and them drawing vent art or making an animation meme that might be a vent is just I think it's stupid. Even if it was an event, it's not a fucking issue. I just think that the issue is the lack of trigger warnings and the lack of censors and all that, and then the other shit and some of the other shit that they've done. Like, I just want to make that clear that I think that Juicy Zone has done wrong, but a lot of these first complaints are just a little like, oh, I think this is gross and I think they need help.
And I don't think I'm the only one that holds this sentiment. If you look in the comments of all of these fucking videos, people are saying that exactly the same shit.
I mean, a lot of people agreeing with you doesn't necessarily mean you're in the right.
It's strange how a 14-year-old is making these very overly sexual animations.
Okay, so now your issue is that they make sexual animations while being a minor. A minor making and posting sexual animation memes isn't a fucking issue. You're just nitpicking because you don't want to see a minor sexual content, which is fine. But a minor making sexual content isn't an issue. Sure, it's not like, you know, the best because, you know, they can get taken advantage of by adults. But if the content they're drawing is of adults, what's the issue? And if their animation memes are featuring minor characters, you haven't said that.
And how the way they're just behaving in general on the internet. They really need to have their shit supervised by their parents or just not have access to the internet at all because it's clearly not healthy for them.
Yes, because the fact that this minor is feeling sexual feelings and possibly has a gore fetish is gonna totally go away the second you take them off their fucking iPad. Like, are you really saying that this child is expressing sexual feelings, some of which are kind of gross and dark, and that's gonna go away the second you take them off their fucking iPad? Is that what you're trying to fucking say here? Because that doesn't make sense. Them not having access to the internet isn't gonna kill them of their fucking fetishes and isn't gonna kill them of their fucking sexual feelings as a fucking teenager going through puberty.
In the description, it literally says I was tickling my clit while making this.
What even was this? Was this a video? It looks like it's a community post. What community post was it? Like, you should probably see how sexual it is so we can, like, gauge what's going on.
Why the fuck would a 14-year-old be posting shit like this? Why are they posting shit like this?
Did you not fucking realize that children masturbate? Like, is that something you just didn't think of until now? Like, children do that. That's a thing that kids do. I mean, yeah, I probably shouldn't be, like, talking about it on the internet, but, like, children do that. It's not that crazy that they're saying this online.
So who has left them so unsupervised that they've gotten this corrupted by the internet?
Yes, because we all know that the internet invented masturbation.
On this, like, first birdie animation, I wouldn't say first, it's one of them. The comments here are really fucked. There's also a lot of comments encouraging this. Like this comment, don't listen to the haters, you should 100% get into with Birdie and then definitely tell us when you and her start dating.
Yeah, this comment is pretty shitty, and I do think encouraging obsession is kind of shitty. Especially because Birdie seemingly wants nothing to fucking do with Juicy, like, at all. Like, I'm pretty sure Birdie has blocked Juicy because of the obsession shit.
Anyway, side tangent over. Juicy seems to have a very strange obsession with another creator by the name of Birdie, to the point where she has made multiple animations featuring his name cut into her OC's arms. Juicy was eventually blocked by him for these disturbing animations. Apparently she's no longer obsessed with him, although the videos still remain on her channel and he is still in her channel section under the name Piss, so who knows. She did a similar thing to Foxy Boxy, where he didn't consent to a collab with her.
You don't need to consent to put your character next to somebody else's character to animate them together, which was the point of the animation. And yes, I know that Foxy Boxy said beforehand specifically that they wanted nothing to fucking do with Juicy Zone, and then Juicy Zone did this in a spiteful manner to be spiteful. But that wasn't mentioned here. If that was mentioned here, I'd understand why he's angry, but assuming that he doesn't know that information, why the fuck is this an issue? He didn't consent to this. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. You should have actually explained what was actually going on, instead of saying, boo-hoo, we didn't consent to collabing, even though the entire point was to draw your character next to theirs for the funny meme. What? That doesn't make sense. And if you knew this information that actually made what they did pretty shitty, you should have said it.
and she followed the same behavior as she did with Birdie until she got blocked and then proceeded to spurg the fuck out about the block. Juicy constantly reflects very obsessive stalkerish behavior towards people. Just like Birdie, she also harassed and stalked a quote blonde girl called SQ, and proceeded to draw gore and overall really disturbing art depicting her OC brutally murdering SQ.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't really have much to say about this. I agree with this point. Like, yeah, that's not okay at all. That's somebody else's character who I'm assuming is not consenting to this shit.
I think the last one is SQ getting molested, but I could be wrong.
I don't really see that as molestation, but I don't know what the artist's intention was with this. I honestly think it's just them having sex, which is still bad. I don't think you should be drawing sexual art of somebody's character without their consent. But, you know, just saying.
Juicy also makes jokes about rape. I don't really have an issue with more edgy jokes like these, if they actually sound like jokes. For example, back when Fundy got in shit for making these types of jokes was playing Jackbox was actually kind of funny. However, the difference between Fundy and Juicy is Juicy has actually threatened to rape someone, and the way these quote jokes are set up do not seem very comedical. As she says, quote, "I'm into CNC stuff, and I like calling it joyful rape because it's fun."
What context was this joke used in? If the joyful rape joke was used in some kind of like real life context, like you know, a real life rape case, that would be bad. But if they're using it like with their friends or something that are consenting to it, who fucking cares? You said that the way they use the joke doesn't sound like a joke, but you haven't actually shown them using the joke. You just showed them explaining why they say the joke. You haven't actually shown anything that proves your point.
Funny. This doesn't really seem like a joke. It seems like she finds rape just funny.
When the fuck was that ever implied anywhere in anything she said? She said she found the joyful rape joke funny. That doesn't fucking mean that she finds rape as a topic funny. She just finds the joke she made up funny. What are you talking about?
Like I said earlier, she tends to promote self-harm a fair bit.
Romanticization doesn't automatically mean that it's promoting. Shut up! You did not explain that earlier.
But it isn't just the animations or her community tab full of really disturbing images of her carving people's names in her arms, but she actually encourages her followers to actively cut themselves and carve her name in their arms so she can publicly post it on her Instagram story uncensored for everyone to see.
Yes, I am aware that Juicy Zone does promote self-harm and does promote her followers self-harming for her, but this isn't really that good of proof. I feel like you could have found better proof. Like, I know she has done this, but this isn't really that good proof for that. Like, yeah, it can kind of, like, imply that maybe she's okay with it, but, like, it doesn't really show her encouraging it. It's more of just her, like, being neutral about it. I don't know. But I still think it's bad. I think these screenshots are bad. She handled this terribly. But, you know, the second screenshot of her showing somebody else's self-harm, it doesn't really seem like she's saying it positively. In fact, if it weren't for the other screenshots I've seen, it almost sounds like she's saying it negatively.
This is probably one of the worst things she has done. I don't know how someone could actively cause others harm and then proceed to share it with other people publicly.
It's not her fault that people self-harmed for her. It's her fault that she's encouraging it. Like, she isn't saying, hey guys, you should totally self-harm for me. She's not saying that. It's people self-harming for her, and then she encourages it. Unless I have a screenshot that shows otherwise, I'm not gonna believe what you're saying.
Speaking of Juicy encouraging her followers to do harmful things to themselves, she also asks them to send her nudes even if they are minors, and uses the excuse it's okay because she is one too. Let me put this in a language you can understand, Juicy, since it doesn't seem like you fully grasp what you're doing wrong. Don't send, receive, or distribute images of minors in a sexually explicit context, because guess what? Regardless if you're a minor as well, it's a felon to possess that kind of content regardless of your age.
Minors send nudes to each other all the time. What I'm actually worried about here is the fact that she seems to be okay with accepting nudes from adults as well. That should be what you're worried about, not the fact that she is technically breaking the law by asking people her age to send nudes to her.
Now, I don't know if you sent images of yourself as well, but guess what? That is also a crime. By law, you are not allowed to send sexually explicit images of yourself until you are legally an adult.
So if she sent nudes of herself, apparently she's in the wrong, even though she'd be considered the victim, because she's the one in the picture. No, she should not be sending or receiving nudes, but you shouldn't fucking villainize a child for being immature.
I feel like this should go without saying, but it seems like you're too thick to understand this very simple concept.
Says the one who doesn't understand fetishes or romanticization.
Also, by her asking for those images, it makes her look like a pedophile.
Okay, she's a 14-year-old. Her looking like a pedophile isn't a fucking issue, other than just your personal interpretation of messages from a 14-year-old to other people who are most likely her age.
I'm not even gonna get into that fucking shit. Yeah, fucking, this person needs help.
Ah yes, because sending nudes equal mentally ill.
This person needs their internet to be monitored. This person needs to just log off permanently. Someone needs to contact this person's parents and get them off the internet.
My conclusion to this video was that I'm sure he had good intentions, but this video was just not it. I feel like he could have done better. Like, I feel like this video is just kind of, like, there's just a lot of shit in it that's just, like, not even an issue. Like, I do agree on some of the stuff he says, but, like, a lot of this is just kind of dumb. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.